One of NXIVM's most effective techniques is called exploration of meaning, or EM.
Most EMs lead back to a memory, and it's looking at the belief system that causes reactions. All the facilitator has to do is fill in missing information of logic that you didn't have when you were a kid.
The camera's gonna focus on the screen. I'm gonna turn this mic on.
Today what we're going to do is learn how to explore meaning. But before we can learn how to explore meaning, we have to have a good understanding of the surface structure versus the deep structure.
Like, you know, this cup, definition of a cup is you can use it to carry, contain, to hold things. Meaning of it, maybe this is my favorite cup. It's a very special cup. It's my, you know, I don't feel okay if I don't have the cup. You're interacting with things not as they are, but as you imbue them.
It's like a process of going back to core memories or traumas and then either hooking or unhooking the emotion or relinking it to a different emotion so you don't have that same charge to the memory. It's really creepy, but it actually works. And it doesn't work on everything for everything, but it works enough to change your feelings about, in my case, my family, animals, career, my body, like all sorts of things that I used to do it on.
Especially with acting, it's really hard on the self-esteem. If you get a part, you don't know why. If you don't get a part, you don't know why.
And when you feel that, you make it mean something that it doesn't mean. You need to EM that.
And that's why I became such a good enroller, because I'd use the tools and get an EM, and then I'd be like, okay, well, some people are going to reject me, and that's okay. They're not rejecting me, they're rejecting the tools. I'm fine. So I became very bulletproof in that way.
Basically, an EM is to help you look at a bad habit that you want to break and figure out where it came from and break that belief.
EM is a stimulus response disconnection. Are you committed to breaking your stimulus response chain with me?
You trust them enough to take you through a process where you're going to confront that fear and come out with more information and not have it at the end.
Why is it important that you get approved from others?
One by one, the students went to have EMs with the coaches. Someone worked on their fear of heights, another person worked on their stuttering. Almost everyone had a profound emotional experience and breakthroughs.
The practice of the EMs, where they would have people think back to some traumatic experience in their life and relive it, it's very scary because the people in leadership are not professional therapists.
Scientology was a major source for what he called the exploration of meaning, or the EMs. That was very much like what Scientology calls auditing.
Re-experience the incident from beginning to end.
Okay.
Where there's this kind of Q&A to dig down and identify issues. It's a way of knowing all the vulnerabilities of an individual, and it can be a very practical tool of control, making them feel very broken and very open to you solving their problems, you giving them answers. And then the next step is you lock them in. They were using the EM to basically tear people down, to find out their secrets, to find out what their Achilles heel, their pain was, and then drilling down into it and leveraging it to gain control over that individual.
You're left with these incredible breakthroughs at the end, and you're so enthusiastic, and that's when they push you to take the next level because you're on a high, basically.
My whole family got really into it at the time.
I didn't have the opportunity to say, like, hey, this feels weird, because when you said, hey, this feels weird, they had an answer for that, which was go get an EM about it, which basically like disconnects you from the memory and from the visceral feeling. But basically, you're going numb. You're going numb to your conscience.
I did not want to recruit people into DOS, but there was a lot of pressure from Keith and Allison, and when I resisted, they would tell me, go get an EM on that. If there was any issue that you had with the diet, with collateral, with recruitment, with DOS, you were sent to go get an EM so that you would eliminate your reaction to it. So I would constantly be getting EMs until eventually I just felt numb.
I heard through various sources in NXIVM that India had been subjected to more EMs than anybody else in the organization. The purpose of those EMs was to sever any connection, feelings of love, loyalty. Specifically to me, who was a major threat. That's what they're really good at.
I've had to do it on myself, actually. Like, I've reversed engineered it so that I could deprogram myself.